Hey guys, Flom here with a new episode of Scoped Up, and today I'm going to be showing you guys Mirage once again. Today we're going to be looking at strictly the T-side. T-side's pretty unique in the sense that mid to late round, a lot of what you do is dictated not really individually, but by what your team wants to do. It's really important, guys, that as an opper, you understand how to properly throw utility for executes because it'll position you further back, so that way you're not leading any of the rushes. It also gives your teammates more time to create space and to allow you to get better angles as an opper. Now, starting things off, I'm going to show you how to work inside of a basic A execute, your traditional 3 smokes, stairs, jungle, and CT. I'm also going to show you guys how to just work mid on a standard mid control setup. And last but not least, we'll just be going over the different angles and positions you can hold when your team goes out B, mid, or late into the round. Starting off, I'm just going to be showing you guys the basic smokes for A. So here is the CT smoke. Just come to this rail, aim at this corner, and jump throw. The standard stairs smoke, you just walk up along here. I use these 2 dots here as my height. I aim just slightly below them, in between the wall and the wood piece, and throw. Now, the jungle smoke that I throw is between this side panel and the square block. I like to use this little dot here on the wall and just put my crosshair slightly above the top part and throw. So this is what it should look like roughly with all 3 smokes up. Now, what you can also do is just throw a couple flashes over as your teammates go out. What this will do is basically allow them to clear up close for you. So what I like to focus on as an opera when I'm coming out A ramp is first things first, I like to hold the bench smoke. Just like we were talking about earlier with utility, if you have a Molotov for bench, I much prefer just to throw a Molotov as people can play on a one-way still towards bench that you can't see properly with the op. So after you've mollied bench or established that nobody's coming through, next up, I like to hold top ticket. This is your main role. People will jump on top of ticket. Most of the time they're sitting still. They just jumped up there. They're more than likely never going to kill you. So you're in a safe position, you're on a good angle, and you can protect your teammates from getting one-wayed by the smoke on top of ticket. So let's say, either your teammates took the site clean, you guys got a couple picks, or they're just completely playing retake. Think of this as kind of like your bread and butter zone. If you don't have to plant the bomb for your team, you really want to stay inside the Tetris area, and you can play in a lot of different ways. Sometimes holding here for when they cross into sight is a really powerful position, because what will happen is they're forced to clear many angles once they start crossing. They're watching bottom of Tetris, which you could also play. They could be watching a ramp, which is very likely where you could also be at. There's a lot of different spots that they have to clear, and you playing up here can hit them with a little bit of a slight off angle before you reposition. Last but not least, one of the most powerful positions is a ramp. If they don't have a Molotov, or if they don't really have a lot of utility to clear you out, and you're hitting clean shots and your teammates didn't get completely decimated inside sight, you will make the CT's life absolute hell for retaking the bomb site. If they're retaking from connector and say your teammates are still alive in sight, anybody crossing now has to cross in front of your field of view. The next thing we're going to be looking at is just a standard mid take and how I like to progress through the round. This isn't really some sort of aggro peak that you're going for. This is establishing mid control and setting up your teammates. Once again, you're going to be using some utility to help your teammates get out to create space for you, which in turn gets you in better positions to op effectively in the round. So the whole progression of mid control, personally, if I'm opping, I like to have a smoke, I like to have a couple flashes, and I like to have a molly. Now, sometimes on first gun rounds, or sometimes when your economy just isn't all that great, you have to coordinate with your teammates on how to effectively take mid. Try to get what utility you can, but if you can't, try to just coordinate with your teammates on what they should throw. So first thing you need to do is throw top mid smoke, or have a teammate throw it for you. The next thing is a Molotov. The way you throw this Molotov is you come to this corner and you follow this line up and you aim at the top of the roof, and then you just release. After you've thrown the top mid smoke and you've mollied top con, I like to left and right click a flash out mid just in case an oppers push cat, and I like to jump on top of this box here. The reason for that is there is a slight one way and you have an enormous advantage on any opper holding inside window still. Now after you've cleared window, if you still have a smoke or your teammate has a smoke, another great nade that you can throw to further, once again, this idea of using your utility to put your teammates in better positions so you can be in a better position. So the way I like to smoke windows, I put my butt against this wall, aim at the middle of this antenna, and I'm gonna run and I'm gonna release when I go over this bump on the ground. This will give your team extra room to move around in middle, and allow you to either progress up cat, where you can then peek into connector if you're comfortable with that, or you can also come to chair and you can work your way up, maybe watch ladder, deep cat on the corner. You could also flash your teammate into ladder. These are just little things that are extremely important and can really change the outcome of round and support your team. So B is a very interesting site in that I feel like people either rush it typically at the start of the rounds, or they hit it very late round in odd number situations. So if your team rushes, it's pretty straightforward. Try to have some flashes, maybe throw them over for your team. And if you have an op, you just come out here. And I do not really ever leave the top part of upper B. On a B rush, you posting here is the single most important thing you can do, because you're going to be cutting off rotates into the bomb site. However, if you don't see anybody here early and say you lose 2 guys in the bomb site and there's still 1 guy alive in B, this is where you need to make a judgment call of whether you think this guy is going to truly rotate here, or maybe he rotated to catwalk or a different position. You being in this position, even if your team is down in numbers, if they get the bomb down, you're in a much more favorable position to win the round than if you were to jump down and try to help your teammate. Now, mid-round to late round, when your team is like sometimes in those odd man situations, your role is very similar in this. However, sometimes I like to lead in those situations, because what you can do is you'll sometimes have a player jump spotting mid to late round, not having much utility left, and what you can do is then open up the bomb site for your teammates, and you can get a clean bomb site with maybe one other player there overwhelmed by a couple of your rifles. Once you've denied that vision or gotten the pick, this is the same role as always. You just want to cut off these rotates. You want to be as stingy as possible. I would not generally advise you to leave this. Last but not least, we'll just be talking about how to execute into B. Now, I'm just going to only show you what I call the Macdonald Strat, which involves 2 smokes for a catwalk. Whether you're in a team environment, in a pug environment, all it takes is 2 people knowing smokes, and you can just completely set up your team for really good success. So for the first smoke for get right, you come here, you just come to the center of this door, you use the middle of this wood piece, and I just like to drag it all the way across so my crosshair is just barely touching the edge of the roof. So what you will hear when you throw this smoke is an audible cue of it hitting the skybox. If you hear it hit the skybox, then you know you've landed the smoke. The much easier smoke to throw is you come to this arrow and you see this M or W or whatever you see right here. You just come to the top of this triangle at the tip of it and jump throw. So what's great about these 2 smokes is it completely isolates the cat player away from the site player. And on top of that, this gives your team a clear way to wrap the bomb site. And once again, guys, like beating a dead horse here, you just come here and you post on the rotates, because if your team is running this strat, they are all on the left side. The cat player is smoked off, and you need to be able to hold this for your team to support them, because this is the most dangerous position that people can rotate in and kill your teammates. At the end of the day, flashy plays are cool and all, but if you are able to effectively use your utility to set your teammates up, you are going to genuinely have a much better time with the op, and it'll probably show in not only just your experience with the game, but your statistics as well. Well guys, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next episode. Take it easy, guys.